Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar where we're going to escape to the Caribbean on board Arvia and Iona. And look, we may not be heading there physically, but we're definitely going to take you there in spirit. So if you don't know me, my name is Steph Adams and I'm proudly the training and engagement manager at P&O Cruises. And you may have spotted we've got a brand new special guest for you to hear from today. And Chelsea is going to talk to us a little bit later. And you're from the St. Kitts Tourist Board. I put my teeth in this morning. So, Chelsea, thanks for joining us. Are you excited to be here?
I am. Thank you so much for inviting me on today. I'm looking forward to it. Really am.
Now, can you give us a bit of a teaser as to what you're going to be talking about later?
So I'm really just going to be giving an overview of the destination and telling everybody what it has to offer, why it is the perfect destination for your clients to visit, and also you yourselves on your personal holidays. I mean, going to St. Kitts, you can't go wrong. It's got everything. It's got the weather, it's got food, great people, perfect beaches, and lots to do.
Wow, I can't wait. I loved St. Kitts when I was there last time. So, and look
Really?
at this beautiful sunset. My big head is blocking it. So, this is a beautiful image from St. Kitts. So,
Oh, that's nice.
the reason that we are talking to you this morning, particularly with Chelsea about St. Kitts, is that, of course, for winter 2027 into 2028, St. Kitts is going to be one of our new ports that we will turn around guests in. So our guests will be able to embark and debark in St. Kitts. So it's going to be great to learn more. So you can feel really confident talking about this brilliant destination. By the end of today's webinar, you're going to understand why you should promote the Caribbean to your customers, but more importantly, why you should book your customers on a P&O Cruises holiday to the Caribbean. We're going to make sure you feel really confident about talking about Iona and Arvia, our XL class of ships. We're going to discover some of the shore experiences that we offer to really bring our destinations to life and how we do that on board our ships too. And then finally, Chelsea is going to bring St. Kitts to life, sharing everything you need to know about this beautiful island so you will be able to talk all about St. Kitts to your customers. So, how does that sound? Shall we get cracking? I think we should. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen here. And I think it's always great, isn't it, to start with a bit of a video to get us in the Caribbean mood. So, here goes. Enjoy. I mean, as if you needed a reason to think about the Caribbean, and we've just given you nine there. I don't know about you. How many of you can see yourselves on one of those beaches right now or floating in that beautiful blue water? I absolutely do. So, why does the Caribbean continue to be one of the most popular winter escape destinations? Well, quite simply, guests that want to go to the Caribbean want winter sun. They want beautiful beaches. They want to be able to take part in outdoor activities. And then they can go and sample local culture and the food. There's loads of festivals, markets, and events that take place in the Caribbean during the winter months. So there is so many reasons for your customers to want to go to the Caribbean. But essentially, P&O Cruises can take your customers and offer all of those, but with their own unique style. In addition to those reasons that guests want to go to the Caribbean, P&O Cruises can give them the opportunity to go and visit new places or return to some favourite places they enjoy. We're going to ultimately give them a stress-free holiday. They'll be entertained, they can dress up, they can have fun, take advantage of all of the facilities on board our ships, and they can spend time with their loved ones out in the Caribbean sun. But I think the main reason that P&O Cruises is so popular and why you should talk about P&O Cruises to your customers because we make travel effortless. And also we include so much in our prices. Now, we include charter flights with regional options to get your customers out to the Caribbean. We include the transfers to and from the ship, bonded baggage, and of course, we have that reassurance of atoll protection too. Plus, the biggest reason to choose a Caribbean cruise is that we visit multiple destinations in one holiday. We do offer that really nice balance of sea day and port days, and we give our guests plenty of opportunity to immerse themselves into each island they visit. Now, I loved my Caribbean cruise. One day you wake up in Barbados, the next you wake up in St. Lucia. And it just couldn't be better. You open your curtains and you just can't believe what is waiting for you. But all of the travel in between is taken care of, whilst ultimately our guests are enjoying everything that P&O Cruises has to offer on our ships. So let's just explore some of those elements in a little bit more detail and why P&O Cruises. Now, multiple destinations, this has to be the easiest thing. Now, we know that many of our customers look at land-based holiday options to the Caribbean before they consider a Caribbean cruise. But then they realise the penny drops. Why are they going to visit one island when they can go and explore multiple islands and get multiple experiences? And I always think it's just such a lovely snapshot. When it was the first time I went to the Caribbean cruise back in November 2019. And I love dipping in and out of the different islands. And there's certainly islands that I know I would like to go and explore further in more detail. But it gave me a brilliant snapshot and gave me the essence of each island. Now, Iona and Avia will both visit the Eastern Caribbean and they will typically visit about 8 unique islands on their 14-night holidays. Guests are going to go and enjoy Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua, St. Kitts, St. Martin, Tortola and Grenada. And the itineraries do vary slightly by ship, and you can see on there, Iona and Avia, some examples of their itineraries for 27 into 28. Avia will commonly visit Dominica, while Iona commonly sails to Martinique, to just mix that up. And ultimately, P&O Cruises will take each guest to the heart of each island. Now, on our itineraries, we do also offer 2 full days in Antigua or Barbados, and that's on selected sailings. It will depend on which turnaround port or where your customers embark the ship. But isn't that great to have an overnight stay in Barbados or Antigua to really feel they can get under the skin of a destination when the sun goes down? Now, we said before, 8 islands, 14 days. So we do give our guests that perfect balance of sea days and port days. You do need that chill out on board to plan what you're going to do in the next port. Now, we know the Caribbean is on many bucket lists and it attracts so many new to cruise. We understand why. We've just said about the effortless travel and we'll explore that more in a second. But do remember, if your customers have been to the Caribbean before and they've been lucky enough to go to some of the islands that I just talked about, just remember, aside from the beaches, there is so much to do. Every time a guest returns, they can do something new in all of these ports. For example, last time I was in St. Kitts, I went snorkeling, I went on a beautiful boat trip, and this time I'm hoping Chelsea's got something planned for me for my November cruise this year. I'm getting the thumbs up, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what she's got planned. But you know, there's the St. Kitts Railway experience. So I will go to that island for the second time and have 2 different experiences. Likewise in Grenada, I went river tubing. This time I'm going to go to a rum distillery or a beach. It's about having same islands but different experiences. And I've already seen Chelsea's presentation. There is going to be so much to do in St. Kitts. Now, regional flights, you can see that to the left of your screen there. Now, P&O Cruises offer flights from all around the country to take your customers out to the Caribbean. We've got always flights from London, and London flights are available on all of our cruises. But in addition, we've got a range of airports. Manchester, Birmingham, Glasgow, Cardiff, Newcastle, Belfast and Bournemouth, to name but a few. Now, we've got a dedicated page on Shine Rewards Club where you can get more details and you'll be able to see which routes serve which destination. So do click onto Shine Rewards Club, go to the flights page, and you can see on the screen here a snapshot of some of the regional options that we have. And of course, as we said before, for winter 27 into 28, we can embark guests in Barbados, Antigua and St. Kitts. And for those of you watching live, I'm seeing lots of reactions and lots of love hearts from people wanting to know that they can get their customers out to the Caribbean from all around the country. Now, whichever airline your customers will fly with, they'll always receive a consistent and dedicated in-flight service, which is exclusive for P&O Cruises. And it will always be ATOL protected. Now, our chartered flights include a hold luggage of an allowance of 23 kilos per person, a hand baggage allowance of 10 kilos per person, and then they'll get a complimentary couple of drinks, a bottle of water, a main meal, and a lighter second meal on some flights. So we've got that covered with our chartered flights. It's the P&O Cruises promise they'll always get that, whatever airline they fly with. Now, I've just got to talk about baggage a bit more and bonded baggage. What an incredible thing. We could not make it any simpler. What do we mean by bonded baggage? Well, look, we get our customers to drop their luggage off at their UK departure point, and then we take care of the rest. The next time they see their suitcases, they will be on board one of our ships in the Caribbean. Their bags are delivered to their cabin door once they've been whisked from the airport to the ship. There's no need to go through immigration, and I genuinely couldn't believe how easy it was. Now, I've worked for P&O Cruises for nearly 16 years, and I've told everyone for years, it is slick. And let me tell you, I could not believe how slick it was. I stepped off the aircraft steps. There was a bus waiting for us as we got off the aircraft steps, and they whisked us straight off to the ship. We didn't go into the terminal building. We didn't collect our bags. So, of course, I headed on straight up to Sunset Bar, cocktail in hand, ready to start my holiday. I went back to my cabin to get changed for dinner, and there were my bags. It could not be simpler. Now, we do always recommend that you pack any essentials for the flight in your hand baggage. Of course, a good book, your earphones, any medication. But we always do recommend that you say to your customers, do take a change of clothes or indeed some pool swimming things if guests want to go straight into the pools. The bags will be delivered to the cabins as soon as we can. But of course, people choose to eat and dine and do different things on board our ships. So do use that 10 kilos of hand baggage and make sure they've got some essentials with them. I hope that makes sense. Give me those reactions. How easy does bonded baggage sound? Now, we do that on the way home as well. We make it even worse, but we make it even easier. We don't want to think about going home because that's the worst bit. But for guests when they're flying home, their bags will be collected for them outside their cabin the night before they're due to fly home. And then they'll see their bags when they get home in the cabin, in the carousel at what airport they have flown from. Easy, right? Now, before we move into Iona and Avia, of course, I've just got to say, going to the Caribbean with P&O Cruises offers incredible value. We know so much is included in the price of our holidays. You've got that chic accommodation, you've got exceptional full board dining, you've got personal attentive service, theatre shows, high-tech gyms, you've got sports facilities, and we can offer a remarkable cruise holiday. Now, if you can price up one of our Caribbean cruises and compare it to a land-based holiday, I'm sure you will be delighted when you see the value. There's no tips to pay, great service comes as standard, and that is why guests choose P&O Cruises to the Caribbean. But of course, the ships are a destination in themselves, and we will explore Iona and Avia in their own right. Because we know how effortless that travel is. We know how bonded baggage works. We can get our guests from all over the country to get to our ships. But look at the fabulous facilities that are waiting for them once they land. Now, Iona and Avia, they're our newest ships in the fleet, of course. They take around 5,200 guests to have truly holiday happiness. Now, when we talk about Iona and Avia, our XL ships, we are known for the freedom, the variety, and the innovation they offer. Freedom, there's solely freedom dining. Of an evening, there's no set meal times. They offer variety because they've got over 30 places to drink and dine. And then innovation comes in abundance. Iona was the first ship that we had our conservatory mini suites that lead our guests with that direct connection to the sea. The infinity pools, the sky domes. We've got some really innovative things on board. We've got the high ropes and mini golf on Avia. So freedom, variety and innovation are the three key words to talk about Iona and Avia. But on board these ships, there's 8 entertainment venues, 4 swimming pools. Our customers are never, ever going to get hungry or be bored. Now, there are slight differences, of course, with Iona to Avia, but there's lots in common as well. And they're both absolutely perfect for Caribbean life. They've got their impressive sky domes. They offer the speciality dining venues that we know are firm favourites. Sindhu, the Limelight Club and Epicurean. But they've got 8 whirlpools, 7 infinity pools, and ultimately plenty of sun lounges. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity for your customers to soak up the sun no matter which ship they sail on. Now, a couple of fabulous things to do on board Iona, I should point out. We've got the 710 Club. If your customers love music, this was a first for us. If you love live music, you love a talented band, you can immerse yourself in this low-lit, atmospheric late-night bar, which is just brilliant to go and listen to some rock music, some what did I like? I like the 90s Britpop, but I'm probably showing my age there. Really talented musicians that can entertain our guests. We've got Splash Valley, which is great for the kids. We've got amazing immersive water jets. Kids can have a run around, play to their heart's content while their parents look out at sea. And on Iona, you've got the olive grove where we've got seafood to authentic pasta dishes. But we're giving our guests a bit of the Mediterranean in the Caribbean, but it's incredibly popular. But doesn't Iona look fabulous? How many of you can see yourselves by that infinity pool soaking up the sunshine on this ship? She was designed to bring the outside in, and that is exactly what we want to do in the Caribbean. Now, of course, we've got her sister ship, Avia. And again, there is so much to do on board. We said there's some slight differences, but there's some brilliant things to do on board Avia. You see there, we've got our first swim-up bar. For me, the sky dome with the retractable roof on Avia is fabulous. You're going to get entertainment in there. There's something in there from day to night. but altitude, sky ropes, the high ropes there, and the mini golf below that. How cool is that? The high rope adventure, 54 meters above sea level. I don't know if you're brave enough. I'm not sure. I did the mini golf, which is included in the price of my holiday. I'm not sure. Chelsea, would you go 54 meters above the ocean for the skydome, the
Yeah,
altitude skywalk?
it's unlikely, but my daughter would.
Okay, she'll take one for the team.
She'd have to, yeah.
So absolutely brilliant. The sky ropes, mini golf, and then you've got the 6th Street diner there in the middle that you can see. This is included in the price of our holidays. So you've got the classic jukebox. You're going to get some great soul food, American hospitality, but you're going to get breakfast, brunch, dinner, and sweet treats in there. So there are some slight differences. We've got the sushi there, the sushi bar at Green and Co on Arvia. But ultimately, both of these ships offer plenty of outdoor space to be in the Caribbean, watching each colourful island sail away. Now, I could literally sit here all day and talk about Iona and Arvia, but we need to get to Chelsea in a second. But if you would like to learn more about Iona and Arvia, you can go to our Learn and Earn Hub on Shine Rewards Club, and there is a course that you can work your way through on each of these ships. So go into much more detail than we can cover today. Now, look, we love giving our guests a bit of authenticity once they're on board, whichever ship they choose. And we can do that through our dining and entertainment concepts that we have on board. So first off, the top right is around the beach house. Now, the beach house is a total must visit venue. My family love it. If your customers want a bit of Caribbean and South American inspired dinners with a playful twist, this is the specialty dining restaurant for them. Now, it's part of the buffet area, but it transforms into a specialty dining restaurant in the evening for a small cover charge. So it's waiter service, but you're going to get beautiful things like sizzle your own steak. I love the hanging kebabs in here. If you've got any people that love fish dishes, the hanging kebabs are just fabulous. But really great, authentic Caribbean food. And then you've got the chocolate fondue to finish with, just absolute amazing sweet treats. So the beach house allows us through our dining to bring the Caribbean flavours. We also offer rum masterclasses on board. And when we launched Arvia, she had our first rum distillery at sea. And I think rum goes hand in hand with the Caribbean, doesn't it? So we partnered up with the Tidal Rum to create our very own blend of rum, and it's called Golden Tide. In Anderson's Bar on Arvia, we distill our very own rum, and it's served across the fleet, but it's also served on board. And we've got our very own copper still there called Aurelia. Now, you can go and take part in these masterclasses, learning about the history, the flavours, and the craftsmanship of probably the Caribbean's most famous export. If guests are sailing on Iona, they won't be able to take part in a blending masterclass, but they will be able to take part in a tasting masterclass. So they'll get to learn all about the local treasure as well, but they'll be able to sample Golden Tide because, as I said, it is served across the fleet. Now, we love supporting local talent, and of course, we like to bring some Caribbean flavours on board through our entertainment. When our ships are in port in Barbados, we bring on local performances who can bring their unique talent and energy and bring some shows outside to life. We welcome steel pan bands on board, and we do inspire the Caribbean through our menus in the main dining restaurants. So we have locally inspired dishes, signature cocktails, and then on selected cruises, we may even bring local chefs on board who just help us bring the flavours to life. Ultimately, through our dining and entertainment, we want to give an immersive holiday experience that not only lets our guests go to the Caribbean, but truly feel they've experienced it. Now, before we move on to Chelsea, the last thing I want to cover is shore experiences, because we're thinking of truly experiencing the Caribbean. What a better way than to do that through a shore experience? For me, it's about getting the opportunity to really see the story behind a destination, feeling like I've experienced it. I do try and do things I wouldn't normally do, and of course, that's personal choice. But look at this lovely video of some of the incredible experiences P&O Cruises can offer your customers in the Caribbean. Just want to be there. I just want to go. I'm counting down those days. How many of you want to be there? And how funny. So it's just absolutely started tipping it down in with rain in Southampton. Can you believe it? So we're talking about the Caribbean and the heavens have just opened. Now, look, I just wanted to show you a couple of things from our Shore Experiences team, and they've put together this very handy grid, which actually I think is really great to be able to see the unique experiences that in different islands customers can go and have the different experiences. I talked about that earlier. Same islands, different adventures. And you can see here you've got St. Lucia, for example. Last time I went on a catamaran out to the Pitons, but this time I could go on an aerial tram that takes our guests 2,000 metres above the lush interior forest on an open air gondola. I could go and see it by double-decker bus, or the fun bus sounds rather great. Or you can go and do something different. Go and have some adventures like zip lining or climbing the Pitons. We have so many unique attractions in the Caribbean, and our Shore Experiences team really do take local knowledge into consideration and really work hard to put these together. Now, we do try and give our guests a nice range. You can go from sightseeing to a unique attraction to adventure to local flavours and beaches. So these are available for our guests to book before they go via my P&O Cruises. But we really want our guests to go and feel like they have truly experienced the Caribbean. Now, I think I've talked enough because I don't think there's anyone better to bring the Caribbean to life than Chelsea. You live and breathe the Caribbean every single day. Very jealous. I mean, I talk about holidays all day. But we've understood now why P&O Cruises is such a popular holiday choice. Do we agree? Give me the thumbs up if you're watching live. Are we understanding why P&O Cruises can take our guests to have the most fabulous holidays? But I'm going to hand over to you, Chelsea. Tell us why our customers should be excited to visiting St. Kitts.
Oh, amazing. So should I share my presentation at this point, or?
Yes, please do.
Okay, let's do that. Let's try again. Otherwise we might have to use your okay. Well, sorry, everyone.
That's all right.
Can
We're
you see my
waiting in
screen?
anticipation.
Can you see my screen?
No, would you like me to share it for you?
Yes, please.
No problem. Tell me
Before.
when to move on. There you go.
Thank you. Okay, so yes, next screen, please. Oh, so first of all, everyone, my name is Chelsea Lewis, and I'm from the St. Kitts Tourism Authority. I'm based in London, and it is my role to just enhance the profile of the destination, just ensure, the trade has all the knowledge that it has, the consumer are aware of the destination. I am a one-man band. I do everything for the tourism authority, and I absolutely love the destination. And I'm not being biased at all. And to prove it, I can tell you I worked with St. Lucia Tourism Authority for 7 years. I'm actually St. Lucian. I've worked with the British Virgin Islands Tourist Board, so I've worked with quite a number of destinations. And when I tell you St. Kitts is absolutely stunning, and it really does stand out, and it's a really strong contender for the most beautiful island in the Caribbean, you definitely know I'm not being biased because of my background. So Stephanie, please, if you could play the video, this is just going to give you all a taster of what the island looks like. Thank you. Okay, so the capital is Basseterre, and the nickname for St. Kitts is Sugar City because many years ago, before we were in tourism, the sugarcane growing was our number one source of income, and practically the whole island was covered in sugarcane. So I'm sure, as you all know, Eastern Caribbean dollar is our currency, although US dollar is widely accepted. We have a year-round tropical climate. One of our unique selling points, which I guess isn't noted for you guys, is that we don't have any all-inclusive hotels. But I guess when your clients are disembarked for the day, they can pop into any hotel and get a meal because there isn't any all-inclusives there. All of our hotels, all of our restaurants are open to everyone. If somebody wanted to spend the day kind of exploring St. Kitts on their own, they could hire a car. To drive the entire circumference of the island takes about 30 minutes. So your clients are not going to get lost, and you also know they're not going to miss the ship when it's time to leave because it's not big at all. We drive on the same side of the road as we do over here in the UK, which makes it very easy. The time difference is 5 hours. And one of the most interesting facts is that we have a population of 40,000 people. Now, why is that interesting? Next slide, please, Stephanie. And it's interesting because we have the vervet monkey. The population of monkeys outnumber the number of people in St. Kitts. So literally, I absolutely love to see them. You're going to see lots of wild monkeys, in the rainforest, in the trees. You might just see them casually crossing the road. I just think it's always really exciting and interesting. And it's my highlight whenever I go to St. Kitts. Maybe it's because I'm from London and I live in a concrete jungle, but I just love these monkeys. So our unique selling point is that we are under the radar. St. Kitts isn't really one of the more popular destinations, but it is one of the most fabulous destinations. So definitely, your clients will be really, they'll have an amazing time when they do visit. It's uncrowded. You can go to the bars, the restaurants, and you're not going to find lots and lots of people there. We have ubiquitous mountain and sea views. So wherever you are on Ireland, you'll either see a mountain or you'll see the sea. And another unique selling point is that we have the only expanding rainforest in the Caribbean. We do want to say world, but we're not sure about that. But literally everywhere in the world, you hear people are cutting back on their rainforests, building, whereas St. Kitts, it's getting bigger and bigger. That's probably why we have so many monkeys. Next slide, please. There's so much to do on land, so your clients will be spot for choice when they arrive in St. Kitts, whether that's zip lining, quad biking, safari tours, hiking, you name it, you can do it on land. There really is something for everyone. Next slide, please. The St. Kitts Scenic Railway is, a unique experience across the entire Caribbean. It's the last remaining railway in the Caribbean. And many years ago, we used to export sugarcane on this railway. We used to collect all the sugarcane, put it on this train, and then take it to one of the ports. Well, today it's used for sightseeing, and it does the circumference of the island, and you'll see amazing views of the Caribbean Sea. You'll see St. Eustatius, you'll see St. Martin on that train. And once on board, you will have complimentary drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. There's also entertainment, traditional Scottish dancing. There's music, and there's also somebody narrating, exactly what you're seeing as you go through the local villages and just, see the island and the destination. And it really is a fantastic excursion. I've done it, and I absolutely really enjoyed it. Brimstone Hill National Fortress and National Park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and up there you'll get amazing views again of the Caribbean Sea and our neighbouring islands. It is a 17th century fort ruins. It was built by the British when they had control over the island, and it just offers, like I say, amazing views. You can go and see the old barracks, how the old army used to live, and a lot of the history behind this fort. There's also a great restaurant there as well with huge portions. Caribou Boutique, it's at Romney Manor, and it's a really unusual place to go. You can go and create tie-dye printing in a very old and traditional way, as the indigenous people of St. Kitts once did many years ago. And it's located in beautiful gardens that you can also tour and learn about the flora and fauna of the island. Thank you. As I mentioned before, we do have an expanding rainforest. I think everybody, if they have time, should definitely go and explore some part of it. Hike it if need be. Go in and see the beautiful monkeys. We also have a really fun excursion in that rainforest. Next slide, please. And it's called Liamarga Natural Farm. So this is really popular for cruise passengers who are visiting for the day. You're put in this big army truck and driven right to the top of the mountain. And when you get there, you're given a tour of the farm, and you learn about the medicinal properties of the herbs and the flowers, and then you're served a delicious lunch. Everything from the lunch is found within that rainforest, is grown from the soil. It's organic, it's fresh, it's healthy, and you're just under the canopy of these rainforests. There's these beautiful emerald greens, the sky, the birds. It really is just perfect. And you might see a couple of cheeky monkeys there stealing the fruit as well. Next slide, please. Stephanie, you're right. This really does feel like COVID. Next slide, please. So we do have lots to do in the sea as well. We are an award-winning dive site. You can do, kite surfing, windsurfing. You can do a boat trip over to Nevis, which is our sister island. If you wanted to take a short water taxi over to Nevis, it's literally a 5-minute journey. But of course, the party boats, they can make it a little bit longer. Next slide, please. So I mentioned we're an award-winning dive site. So the 2026 Scuba Diving Readers of Choice Awards, we've got the top 10 best value in our seas, the best big animals. I actually don't know what that means, and I should find out because we don't have huge animals in our sea, but there you go. Best wreck diving. We actually sunk a plane recently, so people can go down and have a look at that plane underwater. And best beginner dive. Quite a few awards that we've won recently for our sea life. Beaches, oh, who doesn't love a beach? We have a mixture of typical gold, sandy beaches were absolutely beautiful. But what I love, which makes us stand out, is that we also have black sand beaches. And that's because we're a volcanic island. So the sulfur's mixed in with sand. And when sulfur mixes with sand, not only is it black, but it looks like somebody has thrown silver glitter all over the sand. So it sparkles in the sea. So when you have that emerald green backdrop of the rainforest, our sparkling sandy beaches, and that beautiful blue water, it really looks divine. Next slide, please. So we have a huge annual event. I don't know if any of the ships will be in St. Kitts during these periods, but in March we have the Nevis to St. Kitts Cross Channel swim. It takes about an hour to swim between the two. It can be done in as less time as 35 minutes. It's really popular amongst the Brits. We probably have about 300 British people flying over to St. Kitts just to do that swim. And then there's lots of festivity around it. And of course, everyone's welcome. So if your clients are on island at the time, they can get involved and join the fun and also do the swim if they want to. I am definitely not doing the swim ever, but I hear it's amazing, and I hear that the water is so clear you can see all the way down to the bottom. In June, we have the St. Kitts Music Festival. It's international and regional artists coming together to just play a range of genre musics. July, we have St. Kitts and Nevis Restaurant Month, where you literally spend your way eating and drinking across all islands. Each year is themed, so you'll find particular ingredients across all dishes. So, for example, last year they used orange, so you would find orange in your starter, your main, and your dessert. And then finally in December, we've got Sugar Mass, which is like carnival, basically, and it takes place going over New Year's. Thank you. We've got amazing food, delicious, juicy lobster can be found on Ireland, great seasoned Caribbean dishes, and there's so many different restaurants, so many hotels where your clients can go in and eat. They really will be spot for choice. And of course, the roadside grillers. You can't get it better than a local just cooking on the side of the road, and you stop off and buy some grilled chicken from him, and some fresh coconut water. It's the dream. And just so you're aware, we are an award-winning destination. So you know that when you do arrive in St. Kitts, you're going to be, catered to people who know what we're doing. So we were voted the Caribbean Cruise Destination of the Year, the Caribbean Adventure Destination of the Year, and we've won other awards as well. We've just been voted Best Caribbean Destination by Wanderlust as well. We also have a travel agent program. So if you do make any bookings, please log your booking on our travel agent program, and we do reward you with £50 Love to Shop vouchers or a bottle of rum, just our way of saying thank you. So that's me in a nutshell. I just gave you a brief overview of the island, but I hope it was a good enough taster for what's to come.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to get to the Caribbean. I can't wait to get to St. Kitts. But tell us, that was absolutely fantastic. And the amount of love hearts going up our screen now is crazy. I think everyone really enjoyed that. What is your top tip for St. Kitts? What do you love about St. Kitts and what do you do when you visit there?
Well, I absolutely love the food. I'm a
Yeah.
big foodie, and I think the food is very well, seasoned. The flavors, the fresh seafood, it don't get any better than that. I also absolutely love, as I mentioned before, those monkeys. I just think that's such a unique experience. I love going into the rainforest and seeing them in their natural habitat, and then also having the opportunity to go to Leomarga farms and sit and eat all that fresh organic food. I mean, we get organic food in our supermarkets over here, but honestly, the flavors are so much different when you're in the Caribbean. I mean,
Yeah.
avocado pears are the size of a football out in the Caribbean. So I just really love the food out there. It tastes very fresh.
Oh
Um,
my goodness, you've just brought that to life so much. And again, it's bringing it back to the point that beyond the beaches, there is so much to do. So bringing
absolutely.
it back to P&O Cruises, because the reason you're on our webinar today, of course, we talked about is a brand new turnaround port
Yeah.
for us. And we know there's been a huge amount of investment in the port to allow our two massive ships to be able
Yeah.
to really bring loads of guests and enjoy everything that St Kitts have to offer. Can you tell us a little bit about that investment and what you're doing in the port?
Yeah, well, really, it's just to enhance, our cruise tourism offering, and it's just so, when your clients do arrive in St. Kitts, they're coming to, a great space that looks nice and is inviting and doesn't look, run down, and it's, big enough to kind of cater to your ships. And we just want to be able to offer, more seamless connections and just, like I say, ensure that it looks great and it looks appealing. I think there's nothing worse than you know, booking a holiday to somewhere and you arrive and it's a bit of an anticlimax because, it might look a little bit grubby, but that is not going to be the case for your clients. They are going to come and be, welcomed in an amazing cruise terminal. So, yeah, that's it.
Wow, I think it's safe to say you've totally brought St. Kitts and that Caribbean flavour to what has turned out to be a bit of a rainy day in Southampton. But have you enjoyed this webinar? Please do let us know in the comments, and we will be sending out a feedback form a bit later for those of you watching live. But hopefully, we've explored why Caribbean remains one of the most popular winter destinations. We've looked at the difference that P&O Cruises can offer your customers. Don't forget, we've got those direct charter options. We've got regional flights. We've got atoll protection. We've got the bonded baggage, the seamless transfers, and ultimately the exceptional value. Iona and Avia, freedom, variety, and innovation. Your customers are going to need time to explore those ships with their 30 places to drink and dine, but also leave themselves time to immerse themselves into the Caribbean. The thing that you need to remember is that guests may travel to the Caribbean time and time again, but as Chelcie has just so perfectly
Yeah,
shown, beyond the beaches and beyond going there, you can do different things on that one island. So you just need to keep going back time and time again. So when you talk to a P&O Cruises customer, you say to them, why visit one island? You can unpack. Of course, you want to go to St. Kitts, but with P&O Cruises, unpack once, go and make memories in 8 unique islands. We make that the travel effortless, and it could not be better. We sell the most easiest, most immersive, and most rewarding P&O Cruises holiday out there to the Caribbean. Now, I appreciate there's been a lot to take in. So we are going to say thank you for joining. Thank you ever so much for all of your support of P&O Cruises and St. Kitts. We can't wait to hear how many bookings you now generate for both of us. But more importantly, we hope you've learned and you feel confident to talk about all of the escapes to the Caribbean with Iona and Avia. So we will say goodbye, take care of yourselves, and have a brilliant day. Thank
thank you.
you.